My self-proclaimed life coach boyfriend dumped me mid-vacation. Now his fake empire is crumbling, and I got the mic instead. Okay, please don't judge. We've all fallen for the idea of someone before, especially when that someone shaves clean, drops compliments like confetti, and casually mentions exfoliants, which, I later realized, he memorized just to seem attentive, not because he gave a damn about my skin. Hi, I'm Katie. I'm 27, living in Austin, Texas. Freelance copywriter. I drink too much coffee, pretend I know the difference between wines. I don't, and my skincare routine changes depending on how depressed I am that week. I met Alex on a dating app. Right away, he felt different. He didn't open with a Netflix and chill, and had zero fishing selfies. Rare, I know. His vibe? Artsy black and white photos, quotes from Haruki Murakami, pour-over coffee setups, and an intimidatingly well-organized bookshelf. Spoiler, it was an IKEA shelf filled with books he hadn't read. But we'll get there. Our first few dates were magical. He took me to live jazz bars, brought little pastries in those cute pink boxes, told me I looked like a French film actress. You know that type of guy who makes you feel like this is it? Like now, finally, you're having adult, real relationships? That was him. But there were signs. He never let me finish a story, constantly interrupted or corrected me, even when I was joking. Made fun of me for watching The Bachelor, even though I caught him watching Too Hot to Handle on mute with captions. Told me I shouldn't post selfies because it's a little desperate. You don't need validation from strangers. This, coming from a man who posted existential quotes over his gym selfies. And one time, when I mentioned taking on a new freelance gig, he said, "Honestly, copywriters are a dime a dozen now. You'd probably be happier just chilling and doing something soulful instead of hustling for crumbs." Yeah. Red flag, waving hard. But my brain? He's just brutally honest. He's encouraging me to slow down. This is healthy masculinity. No, girl. That was manipulative gaslighting in a mindfulness hoodie. Fast forward a couple months and things got more serious, in his words. Well, kind of. He said, let's not label this, but let's be intentional, monogamous, real, no pressure. Translation? We're together, but I want an easy escape hatch in case I get bored. I said yes anyway. Because I was deep in it. When your brain's in love, it can twist anything into poetry. And then came the trip. 4 months in, he suggested a getaway. Let's go to New Orleans. Just us. No distractions. Unplug. Reset. Something meaningful. I melted. I love NOLA, the jazz, the coffee, the humidity-soaked streets after it rains. I offered to split the cost, and he scoffed. Are you serious? I'm the guy. I've got this. Okay. Cool. Romantic. Sure. The first couple of days were Pinterest perfect. Balcony wine, slow morning strolls, pictures by lamplight, late-night convos about dreams and trauma and favorite condiments. I was in heaven. But on day 3, something shifted. He got quiet. Like off. The little quirks of mine he used to laugh at, now he just ignored or made faces. At breakfast, over lox bagels and overpriced iced coffee, he dropped this gem. Have you noticed you interrupt people a lot in conversations? I get it. You probably want to be heard. It's just a little messy. I looked at my bagel like it was going to give me life advice. It didn't. Day 4 was the breaking point. We were at this cozy little restaurant, like rustic vibes meets foodie heaven. The waiter looked like a young Stanley Tucci, which I took as a good omen. Everything was fine until Alex just randomly left our table and sat with the couple next to us. He started chatting them up like he knew them, he didn't, and said, pointing to me, "This is Katie. She's like quirky. Not model gorgeous, but, full of personality." I froze. He laughed. The couple laughed politely. I took a sip of wine and tried to disappear into my chair. Then came the kicker. She's a copywriter. Says she has a unique voice. You know how it is. Everyone's got a blog now. Everyone's a content creator. But hey, she's a creative soul. He winked. I wanted to vomit. I fake laughed. Like the kind of laugh you do when you've emotionally detached from your body and you're just waiting for your soul to Uber home without you. And then, something unexpected happened. Tucci waiter walked over, calmly but firmly, and said to Alex, "Sir, would you mind returning to your table? This isn't open mic night." In that one sentence, I felt more seen than I had in 4 months. I looked up at Alex. He was visibly irritated. I just smiled. But not my usual people-pleasing smile. This one had teeth. The rest of the evening was silent. On the outside. But in my head, a quiet voice whispered, "If this is love, why do I feel like the punchline to someone else's joke?" So, after the quirky but not model gorgeous incident, I should have packed my overnight bag, marched out of that overpriced boutique hotel, and flown straight back to Austin. But I did not. Instead, I sat on the edge of the bed that night, staring at my mini travel-sized moisturizer like it held the answers to life, wondering if I was overreacting. Alex came out of the shower, towel drying his hair like he was the main character in some indie film no one asked for. He looked at me, sighed, and said, "You are being really sensitive, Katie. It was a joke. You need to stop taking everything so personally. People like you burn out because you cannot laugh at yourself." And there it was, the classic twist, the Jedi mind trick that turns his cruelty into my failure to be chill. I mumbled something like, "Okay, maybe I am tired." And he hugged me like he had just tamed a wild, emotional creature. Like he had done me a favor by grounding me. My therapist later called this emotional negation via faux wisdom. I call it being a manipulative jerk in vintage cologne. The next morning, I woke up to the sound of Alex zipping his backpack. I looked at the clock. It was barely 7. I rubbed my eyes and asked if everything was okay. "I booked a yoga class. Thought you might want some alone time. You were kind of intense last night." "Cool." Nothing says vacation bonding like being abandoned with no warning before breakfast. I scrolled through Instagram, trying to calm down with memes and dog videos. But then I noticed something weird. Alex had posted a story. A selfie. At a rooftop CAF I had never been to. With a caption that read, "New energy, just vibes, no drama." I blinked. No drama? That CAF was 20 minutes away. On the opposite side of town. So much for yoga class. I texted, "Hey, thought you were at yoga? That place looks cool though." He left me on red. By lunchtime I was spiraling. I went downstairs to the front desk to ask if Alex had left a keycard for me. He had not, but the nice lady at the counter looked concerned and said, "Are you the one who booked the room? Because he just checked out 30 minutes ago." I thought I misheard. "What do you mean, checked out? We are staying until Thursday." She showed me the booking under his name. Paid in full until this morning. No note. No text. No explanation. Just gone. And guess what? He blocked me. On everything. Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, even Venmo. Like I was a scammer trying to steal $5 for oat milk. I stood in the hotel lobby, suitcase in one hand, iced coffee in the other, suddenly homeless in New Orleans. The girl behind the counter offered me a water bottle, which felt both comforting and wildly inadequate. I ended up crashing with a college friend who lived 20 minutes outside the city. I cried on her futon while she gave me hot Cheetos and reassurance in equal measure. Later that night, I created a burner Instagram account. I had to see what he was up to. What I found was worse than I expected. He had posted a reel. A new girl. Blonde. Tiny. Yoga clothes. Caption, "When you stop chasing chaos, peace finds you." I zoomed in. They were on the same rooftop CAF? From earlier that day. Laughing. Holding hands. Drinking matcha. And suddenly it all clicked. The early morning yoga excuse. The blocking. The sudden checkout. It was not a meltdown. It was a handoff. He had lined her up in the background, while I was still brushing my teeth with travel toothpaste. I wish I could say I simply blocked him and walked away. But I am not that evolved. Not yet. I sent a DM from the burner account, just a smiley face. The passive-aggressive kind. He blocked that account too, but not before I noticed something very interesting on his profile, a link to his coaching site. Yes, coaching. Alex, as it turned out, had recently rebranded himself as a clarity coach for creative women. His tagline? Helping wild-hearted women find grounded purpose in a chaotic world. I nearly choked on my off-brand LaCroix. That night, I did not sleep. I went full detective mode. Turns out, Alex had at least 3 other coaching profiles on different platforms, each with slightly different photos, but the same pattern. Each page was filled with quotes, soft light portraits, and fake testimonials. He was not just emotionally toxic, he was running a business off it. I wanted revenge. But not messy, chaotic revenge. No, I wanted poetic, structured, elegantly devastating revenge. And by the grace of karma, or maybe just good Wi-Fi, the universe handed me the perfect opportunity. 2 days later, I was back home in Austin, Texas, with a giant pimple on my cheek and a suitcase that still smelled like hotel soap and betrayal. I wish I could say I bounced back immediately. But the truth is, I spiral cleaned my entire apartment while listening to breakup playlists and eating chips directly from the bag. No plate. No dignity. Just emotional archaeology in sweatpants. But somewhere between vacuuming under the couch and Googling how to stop falling for narcissists with good cheekbones, I had a realization. Alex did not just hurt me. He was out there selling emotional snake oil to women under the banner of clarity. He was making money off his ability to gaslight people like me into thinking we were the unstable ones. And that I could not let go. So I did what any reasonable person with unresolved rage and access to Canva would do. I made a fake coaching client. Meet Sophie, age 27, creative entrepreneur. Struggling with boundaries and imposter syndrome. Loves crystals, chai lattes, and emotionally unavailable men. Basically, a Pinterest board in human form. I used an AI image generator to create a soft, believable profile picture. Added a vague but convincing Instagram bio. Something like, just a human trying to build a soul-led life. Content creator, artist, nervous system healing. Then I filled out the application form on Alex's coaching site. Within 6 hours, he replied. The email started with, "Hi Sophie, something about your energy really stood out to me." Of course it did, Alex. He offered a free discovery call. I scheduled it for Thursday evening, and spent the next 2 days prepping like it was the final scene of a heist movie. I practiced my voice, made sure to sound a little unsure, a little dreamy, very seeking guidance. I wanted him to talk, overshare, drop receipts. And oh boy did he. The Zoom call lasted 43 minutes. I recorded every second. Alex talked about his gift for helping women see past their ego stories. He said things like, most women do not realize how addicted they are to chaos. It is why they attract men who mirror that. I had to mute myself multiple times to scream into a pillow. Then he said something that made my blood go cold. I used to date a girl just like you, super intense, emotionally charged. A lot of potential, but she could not handle her own shadow work. He was talking about me. To me. With that same smug voice he used the night he called me too sensitive. That night, I uploaded the recording audio only to a Reddit thread titled, "My ex became a women's clarity coach, and this is what he says about his clients behind their backs." Within hours, it blew up. Thousands of upvotes, dozens of comments like, "This guy gives cult leader energy. He sounds like if gaslighting wore cologne." OP, you dodged a bullet and lit it on fire. Someone even recognized his voice and said he had messaged her on Bumble with the exact same phrases. "You feel like a storm in a world of drought, sir. Go touch grass." The post went viral. By the weekend, someone had found his main coaching Instagram account and started commenting under his posts. How do you support women if you trash them on Zoom calls? Is this before or after you abandon them on vacation? This clarity smells a lot like manipulation. The next day, Alex's website went under maintenance. His Instagram page vanished. His coaching profiles went dark. And the cherry on top? I got a DM from one of his new clients. A real woman, she thanked me. Said she had just paid him for a full 6-month package, but canceled her card after hearing the call. She said, "You saved me a lot of pain." And like $700. I did not need to say anything to Alex. The internet did it for me. But a week later, he messaged me from a new number. No apology, just this. "Wow. I always knew you were intense. But this? You really are the chaos." I looked at the message. Then I smiled, tossed my phone on the couch, and poured myself a glass of wine, because for the first time in months, I did not feel crazy. Or needy, or too much. I felt clear. And that clarity? It was all mine. After Alex's text, I did not respond. Not out of pettiness. Okay, partially out of pettiness, but mostly because I did not owe him closure. I had already closed that chapter. Nailed it shut, set it on fire, danced on the ashes. I spent the next week doing things I had not done in months. I woke up early and went on a walk without checking my phone. I wore lip gloss just because it made me feel like the kind of woman who sends unbothered voice notes. I called my mom. We talked about dumplings and bad dates. It felt grounding. I re-downloaded my journal app and typed, "I think I am finally done abandoning myself just to feel chosen." It hit me hard. Because that was the pattern, right? Every time someone treated me like I was too much, I shrank myself into the version I thought they could handle. Alex did not create that, but he sure as hell benefited from it. And here is the funny part. Once I stopped trying to prove I was lovable by being smaller, quieter, more palatable, I actually liked myself more. I started posting again. Nothing wild, just little stories, day-in-the-life stuff, cute outfits, funny failed recipes. No filters. No fake "I'm totally okay" smiles. The DMs I got? Not dudes. Women. Women who said things like, "I left someone like that too. I needed to hear this today. Thank you for being real. Not pretty perfect, but real." It was like my heartbreak had created this weird little lantern. And other people saw the light. A month later, I got an invite to speak on a panel for a local women's wellness event. The theme? Intuition over influence. And guess who was originally supposed to speak? Alex. The organizer told me they had seen the Reddit post and pulled him from the lineup. Then someone had suggested me as a replacement. I laughed for a full minute. Then I said yes. And when I stood on that little stage, not in heels, not in "look how I survived" armor, just in jeans and a t-shirt that said "Own Your Chaos," I told the story. Not for revenge, for release. I told them about the beach, the gaslighting, the too sensitive crap, the fake coaching, the Zoom call. I even told them about Sophie, my AI decoy turned legend. And at the end, I said, the most powerful thing I ever did was stop asking men like that to understand me, and start understanding myself. There was a pause, then applause. Now, I still do not have it all figured out. Some days I still cry over old screenshots and scroll too far back on Instagram. But I am not ashamed of that anymore. Because healing is not a cute little 5-step checklist. It is messy, it is loud. It looks like burned toast and missed texts, and unfollowing people who used to make your heart flutter. But it also looks like choosing yourself. Again. And again. And again. Alex? Last I heard, he tried launching a men's coaching program. It flopped. Someone leaked his "Women are addicted to chaos" quote to a satire page on TikTok. They turned it into a sound. Now people use it to roast red flags. Every time it comes up on my For You page, I grin like an exorcised demon. Some ghosts you do not fear anymore. You just let them haunt each other. As for me, I am in love now. Not with a new guy. Not yet. With my own damn voice. It is louder than his ever was. And this time, it does not ask for permission.